Hey, welcome back. It's Jason Walter here. Today's video is part 2 of a 2-part video series that I'm doing about the latest housing market news for California. If you missed part 1, I'll leave a link below for you. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing the latest news regarding housing inventory in California. And also stick to the end of this video because I'm going to be sharing how each region in California fared because there's some pretty big differences. The best way to share this information with you today is to share my screen. So let me do that with you right now. So let's go over inventory and active listings in California for May. So here's something to become cognizant of if you're looking to buy a house or looking to sell a house in California, or if you're just looking to see what's going on in our California housing market. So for May 2021, our month's supply of houses is 1.8 months. What that basically means is that at the current sales pace, if no new listings were to hit the market, then all houses listed for sale in California would be sold in 1.8 months. 1 year ago is 4.3 months. And by the way, to have a more balanced real estate market between buyers and sellers, we want approximately 4 to 6 months of housing supply in order to have a more balanced real estate market. So we do have a ways to go, but we are experiencing a slight increase because last month in April, the month's supply was actually 1.6. So as you can see here, a slight uptick, but when you compare it to 2007, 2008, obviously a huge difference. 1.8 months now, but let's see, in 2007, the month's supply was about 16 months. And here's inventory over the past few months. Obviously, we have a downward trend in inventory, but more recently, we have an uptick of inventory, which is obviously a good sign if you're a home buyer. All right, here's a really good graphic showing the active listings. So active listings is a total number of listings available for sale at any given time. So they show us the data for 2018, 19, 20, and 2021. Obviously, the most up-to-date stats we have is for May 2021. As you can see here, our active listings is way down compared to 2018 and 2019. As of the end of May, we have approximately 20,000 houses available for sale. But when you look back in 2018 and 2019, we had about 50 to 60,000 houses for sale. And obviously 2020 was a complete anomaly, so it's hardly worth mentioning that when you're comparing stats here. But you can see that on every single month. So for example, in July, August, September, the rest of the year, last year, the active listings were actually way down compared to prior years. Let's hope that increases. So new listings remain well below pre-pandemic levels, but moving in the right direction. And by the way, this is all compliments from the California Association of Realtors, or CAR. They just released this report yesterday. So for May, we have new listings are 23,000 compared to last year, just under 23,000. But in 2018, 2019, approximately 32,000 new listings for May. So here's another interesting graphic from the California Association of Realtors. This is the number of sales versus active new listings. So we look at, I guess, the past couple of years. So 2018, 2019, it's entirely common to have more new active listings than home sales. That went out the door in 2020 and continues to be the same trend in 2021 because we have continue to have more sales than new active listings. So for example, in May, we had, 25,357 sales, yet we had 23,219 active new listings. So the number of sales continues to outpace the number of listings we have. So market competitiveness. This is really interesting. So in May 2021, the average days on the market is only 7 days. That's tied with April, which would set the record for the lowest days on the market ever. Compared to 1 year ago, 18 days. But as you can see here, ever since 2010, 2011, when the average days on the market was around 60 days, now we only have 7 days. So it's 10 times less time it takes to sell a house. So days on the market is the time when a seller lists a house for sale and when they ultimately accept an offer for a home buyer. So on average, 7 days. Looking back, my listings in Sacramento, my average days on the market is probably like 4 to 5 days. It's entirely common in Sacramento to list a house on a Wednesday or a Thursday, have the weekend for people to look at it, and then accept an offer like on Monday or Tuesday. That's how competitive it is. So let's look at reduced price listings. This would be a leading indicator of a potential slowdown, right? So we have an increase of reduced price listings. That would be an indication that home buyer demand is slowing because sellers have to lower their price in order to attract a home buyer. So as you can see here, the share of listings with a reduced price only represents 17%. So obviously a lot of listings are not being reduced because of high buyer demand right now. Let's see if that changes though. All right, so that's that. Let's go over what we're seeing here on a regional basis. And just to give you an update, if you missed my video from yesterday, existing single family houses, existing means a house that's not brand new. This is in California only. Sales actually were down 2.7% from April, so it decreased by 2.7% from 1 month ago. We'll have to see how that continues to increase. If we continue to see a decrease of home sales on a month-to-month basis for the next couple of months here, that could be a sign definitely that we're seeing a slowdown. When looking at home sales on a year-over-year basis, they're up almost 87% from May 2020. And again, the year-over-year numbers are really just going to be way, way off because in May 2020, our housing market was more or less on pause as far as home sales because in April, we had the state home orders. So in California, the median home price reached $818,000. That was an all-time record high. That was set from the previous record in April. And home prices only inched up 0.5% from April though. All right, so let's look at on a regional basis what we're seeing because there's a lot of big differences here. I'm gonna break this down by most of the counties in California. So at a regional level, all major regions had at least a 44% year-over-year growth in sales from last May when the market hit its lowest point in 2020. The Central Coast had the biggest jump of 111% from 1 year ago. San Francisco Bay Area increased by sales by triple digits from last year, followed by Southern California, the far north, and the Central Valley. So nearly all counties, 49 out of the 51 tracked by the California Association of Realtors, recorded a year-over-year sales increase in May, with 17 counties more than doubling the sales level reached 1 year ago. So Mono had the strongest sales growth from last year by 400%, followed by Plumas and San Benito counties. All right, so let's talk about home prices in California. So all 51 counties tracked by CAR notched a gain in their median price on a year-over-year basis, with 50 of them reporting at least double-digit growth. And then Mono had the largest price growth of 119% in 1 year. That was followed by Santa Barbara and Plumas. Santa Barbara, obviously everyone knows what Santa Barbara is, but Plumas is about 1 hour north of Sacramento for those who don't know. 32 counties set new record high home prices in May. Marin, I was actually really surprised by this. Marin had the smallest price growth of all counties in California with only an 8.8% increase from May 2020. It was also the only county with a single-digit price gain from 1 year ago. I found that to be very interesting because Marin had a very large increase of home sales and home prices early on during this pandemic as a lot of people fled San Francisco. And now that seems to be actually reversing. And I'll discuss that here in just a little bit. All counties reported by CAR saw a decline of active listings from May. In nearly all counties, 49 out of 51 dipped by more than 20% from 1 year ago. Ventura had the largest decline in housing supply, dropping 63.5%, while Amador County, which is about 45 minutes southeast of Sacramento, wine country, Amador followed closely with a 62.5% slide from 1 year ago in active listings. All right, so let's break this down by each of the major regions in California here. So again, the median home price in California, $818,000. But gosh, when you compare it to 1 year ago, $588,000. So in 1 year, we went about $200,000 higher. So that's an increase of 39.1% on a year-over-year basis. By the way, it's important to note that if you're a homeowner in California, this does not mean that your home price increased 39.1%. This is simply the median home price in May 2021 and the median home price in May 2020 for houses that actually sold, not everyone's property. So I would love it if my house increased in value by 39%. That's simply not the case. Again, so the home prices only increased by 0.5% on a month-to-month basis, and then sales dipped 2.7%. Central Valley, the median home price there, $445,000. Compare that to the San Francisco Bay Area, almost $1.4 million. So about 3 times as much as the Central Valley. In the Central Coast, home prices dipped by 2.8% on a month-to-month basis, which I found very interesting as well because Napa, the Central Coast, these areas absolutely exploded during this pandemic where people moved there and moved away from the cities. In the far north, sales increased on a month-to-month basis by 2.1%, whereas all the other major regions actually had a decrease of home sales on a month-to-month basis. San Francisco Bay Area, take a look at these median high home prices. Absolutely insane. Marin, 1.6 million. San Francisco, 1.9 million. By the way, these are existing single-family houses. The median home price for houses actually sold. In San Mateo, almost $2.1 million. Santa Clara, almost $1.7 million. So here's what I found to be absolutely surprising, actually. So Napa, the home prices on a month-to-month basis decreased 11.8% on a month-to-month basis. So from April to May, they decreased almost 12%. Whereas home sales on a month-to-month basis decreased by 5.7%, and in San Francisco, they decreased by 9.2%. And check out San Francisco because home prices on a month-to-month basis actually increased 5.6%. We compare that to Marin, 1.4%. Early on during this pandemic, San Francisco was down or flat, and then Marin was absolutely, I think, at double digits for home price growth there. So things have reversed for San Francisco as more and more people are getting back to work there. All right, let's have a look at Southern California. So Los Angeles, home prices there, $725,000 was a median home price, increased from $553,000. Orange County, the median home price there was $1.1 million, which was flat from the previous month. But look at that, sales actually dipped 10% there. Sales, though, on a year-to-year basis, increased 131%. Well, I think Jeb Smith, who's a YouTuber there in Orange County, I wonder if he has anything to say about this because I'm curious why sales dipped by 10% there, whereas the other areas in the Southern California region only decreased 5 to 2 to 3%. Ventura decreased in sales by 7.8%, and the home prices there dipped by 6.8%. There's also another YouTuber who lives in Ventura County, Meet Kevin. So I'm wondering if he knows what's going on there. All right, so Central Coast, Monterey, the median home price there is $887,000. Compare that to 1 year ago, $650,000. It's crazy. They had an increase of 153% in sales on a year-over-year basis. So May 2021 compared to May 2020. San Luis Obispo, that's where Cal Poly is. Sales actually dipped 10%. Quite a bit different when you compare to the surrounding areas. So Santa Barbara, take a look at the median home price there, $1.3 million. I was actually very surprised by this because Santa Cruz had a median home price of $1.3 million. I actually went to school at UC Santa Cruz for college. I never thought that Santa Cruz would have a higher home price than Santa Barbara. Santa Barbara, though, look at this, prices that increase on a month-to-month basis actually increased by 18% in 1 month, 104% compared to last year. So Central Valley, let's have a look at this. Glenn County, the prices increased by 27%, yet sales dipped 54%. Placer County, that encompasses Roseville, Granite Bay, and then all the way to North Lake Tahoe. But home prices there are $663,000 on average, and the prices actually increased by 6.2%. Sacramento, where I live and work as a real estate agent, the median high home price there, $500,000. Prices increased by 2% on a year-over-year basis, increased almost 27%. Sales actually dipped by 0.3%. I think that's largely due to the fact that we have a lack of housing inventory. I know a lot of home buyers who really wish there was more housing inventory so they can find a house to buy. So I'm guessing that's the reason why sales actually dipped on a month-to-month basis, but sales are still up 46% compared to 1 year ago. And by the way, Sacramento, $500,000. Compare that to the San Francisco Bay Area. Look at San Francisco, $2 million. So houses are almost 4 times more expensive in San Francisco compared to Sacramento. And it's not a big surprise about why people are relocating to the Sacramento region. Stanislaus, the home prices there are only $440,000. All right, let's talk about the far north. Plumas, again, that's about an hour north of Sacramento. That is home prices there, 423. But gosh, when you compare it to 1 year ago, 269. So that's a 57% increase of home prices there. Good time to be a home owner there. Not so much home buyer, because home prices increased quite a bit. Even on a month-to-month basis, they increased 5.8%, and sales increased 260%. Amador County, again, that's a wine tasting country about 45 minutes from Sacramento. Prices increased 33%, and sales increased 80% on a year-over-year basis. Del Norte, they had a big increase of home prices there. I'm actually not familiar with Del Norte. Increased 14%. Sales dipped by 60%. Humboldt County, that's in Northern California, sales actually increased by 18% on a month-to-month basis. Mariposa, a big increase of home prices on a month-to-month basis, 21%. Mono actually decreased by 25%. So it's interesting to see how there's such a big difference in home sales on a month-to-month basis in other counties of California here. So some actually increased quite a bit, or others dipped quite a bit. That is today's California housing market update. So if you got any value out of this video whatsoever, then please hit the like button. I greatly appreciate that. And also consider subscribing as well. I post videos about how this pandemic is affecting our housing market. You also can follow me on Instagram. I'm Sacramento Realtor. Hope you have an awesome day and look forward to seeing you on the next video.